Well, we're back outside working on the boat again. Point out a couple of things I had to do from the original layout and some of the other mistakes I still have to correct. One of the first ones I had to do is, you can see I still notched it here a little bit. The original vertical piece here came all the way down to here, like this. And I had the great idea trying to notch this board like this and make it fit in there, and that didn't work. So what I did, you can probably see by the little scar mark there, is I just freehanded the circular saw, cut in here, cut right down the glue joint here, and then laid this, well, this is the saw blade, I laid it flat like this and went up this way, and I was able to knock out that piece. And I just used the saw blade, you know, doing everything against all safety regulations, holding the guard open, spinning the saw blade. I was able to use the shave, laying it flat like this in the edge of the teeth and shave down any high spots. So I was able to put this guy in here. Next thing you notice is that this is overhanging a little bit here. When I took all my measurements, I forgot about one minor detail. When you look down the boat this way, I was lined up on this outer corner here with the distance. But if you notice, when the board's flat this way, if you look back here, that's not flat. I should have made it with the board canted out like this also, so I actually had multiple compound angles I should have cut. So what I ended up doing, you can see a little bit here, this is actually pulled in just a little bit, which is fine. The plywood will follow that bend. It's the same thing on the bottom. Now I'm going to take the hand plane and plane this outer edge off and get it down as close as I can to these two boards, which will mean right about to here. Then I'll also have this little gap right down in here, which will just need a little bit of thickened epoxy to fill it in. And I have that same problem on the other side over there, and I did the same thing on the transom. The transom isn't quite as dramatic because it's not as sharp of an angle, but just a little bit of work with the hand plane, taking this area side down here this way and getting it laying flat in line with the shear clamp and chine log. Last thing I need to do is, if you look down this way, you can see that this sits a little bit high here. Same thing, we'll take the plane and plane this down flat. I'm still debating whether to do that on the shear clamp because it's sitting quite a bit proud. Let's see if we get you underneath here and look. You can see how much it's sticking over down there. So I don't know if I want to try hand planing that down right now, or if I want to butt up against that and with the deck board that's going to come off of there. But we'll have to see when I get it flipped over. It'll be easier to hand plane it when I flip it over, so I think I'll just put the side plywood on and hand plane that when I flip it. So all I'm going to do today is some hand planing. If I get far enough, I'm just going to start cutting out the boards for the sides and maybe the bottom, and I have to wait for my next shipment of Cabasol will come in because I'm way too low. I don't have nowhere near enough to mix up thickened resin to do all the joints that I got on here. So I'm just going to basically try to get all the wood pre-cut and ready to go on, get everything level and smooth, so when we're ready to go, all I have to do is disassemble, mix and smear on resin, and screw it all back together again. And then hopefully it'll be ready for glassing, hopefully by the weekend. And it's assuming that Cabasol comes in the next couple days. That's all I got for today. Not a whole heck of a lot else to show, so probably not going to do an update until I get to the point where I'm putting the plywood on. Later. Well, just finished wrapping things up for the night. Need to put tools away. Use the hand planer and plane down the edges along here like I was talking about to get those squared up along there. Then I got all the plywood put on. I just have it put on loosely with screws because it's all coming back off when I start get my epoxy thickener so I can make more glue. I lucked out. I was able to put both the seams here and back there right along the keelsons. So I got two areas to screw in with backers right there. Then the center of the boat where the main seam is, right along here, I have it centered between two frame members. I'm going to back the whole thing with a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. Same way I did the center joints in the front of the dory. Midship on the dory I did a scarf joint because I want to keep the bottom smooth for water drainage. But since I'm building this double hulled, I don't have to worry about water drainage on the inside of this part of the hull, because there'll be another floor inside there for the drainage to go across. So just got to mark the ends, cut those off front and back, and then we'll be ready for full assembly. I'll get some more pictures when I'm doing the assembly. So that's all I have for tonight. Take care. Evening. Well, I got the bow section trimmed off to fit the hull properly, except for this little piece right here. I'll take care of that with the belt sander. And then the same back here for the stern. So now if you look overall, it's even looking more like a boat right now. So my next objective is to get out here with the belt sander and to round these areas off and round these areas off. Fiberglass does not like to follow square corners. It likes to follow rounded surfaces. So I'll use the belt sander to round all this off and get it back down to the proper shape. So I'll leave from this point right here, and I'll go get the belt sander. When I come back in, I'll start from this point so you can see the change from the way it looks now to the way it should look after the belt sander. Oh, and as a little side note, so many places you see gaps like this, those will all get filled in with epoxy when we glue it together. Well, there's about 10 minutes with the belt sander. You notice now that it's nicely rounded off this way, and around the front. I just got this front corner. We'll cross the whole bow there down this corner here. We're only back a little ways over here, but now you get an idea of what we're doing to round everything off. When we glass the boat, we'll probably glass right up to about here, all the way around, and then we'll work on the top side and then put a wrap of glass back around the other way when we get it flipped over. I'm going to continue sanding. I want to get this done tonight. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'll get it done sanded today, get her covered back up, and go finish working on my daughter's car tomorrow. And then Thursday we'll hopefully have the thickener here and we can start taking this back apart and gluing it together. Well, there we have it. All the rough sanding is done. We will do a little bit more fine detail, smoother sanding once we get it all glued and screwed together, so that way we know all the joints are perfectly accurate, and then we'll get her all nice and smooth and ready for glassing. So, time to put the tools away and get her covered up for the night. So it'll probably be another day or so before I get back to her. Gotta wait for the materials to get in. Have a good night.